Welcome back to Beyond the Headline, everyone. It's a really special day to be on the show because I'm here with my friend Sonia Kashuk, the founder and creator of Sonia Kashuk Beauty. Sonia, thank you for being here.
Oh, I love it. Love being with you.
So I want to start out, before we even dive into Beauty with Benefits, with Cancer and Career's founding story. Because in 2001, 5 out of the 40 board members had been diagnosed with cancer. And they sat around the table and thought, we have to do something about this and help people in this situation. Can you start out with that?
Well, I think that, the Cosmetic Executive Women is such a powerful group of women and all like major players in the beauty industry. And I think it was important with anything you do in life, there's the giving back component. And I think it was really important for CEW to do something that gave back and recognizing, all of these women that were going through cancer and experiencing things. I think coming up with the idea of Cancer and Careers, because nobody was or is really, other than Cancer and Careers, addressing cancer in the workplace. So when Carlotta Jacobson approached me about it after I received my award, an Outstanding Achiever Award in 2003, she's such an amazing, amazing woman. And whatever Carlotta is involved with or does, I want to support because she has been such a huge mentor and just an outstanding woman in my life. And, her knowing that I had breast cancer and that I had a platform through Target, gave an opportunity to get more involved. And for me, I think experiencing and going through breast cancer, being that Target, that I was doing something to educate women about beauty with Target, that same platform gave me an opportunity to help women in a different way. Like, to this day, I still have, numerous women calling me when they receive a cancer diagnosis, completely like flabbergasted and not knowing which way to turn and not knowing, like, just completely like shell-shocked and not knowing what to do. And I can use some of my experience of going through breast cancer to just help give a little bit of guidance. I mean, I don't have all the answers nor, but I feel like I have human heart and some knowledge to help give a little bit of information. And I have to say that I've had an extraordinary career, but the passion and what I see Cancer and Careers doing has been one of the more and most rewarding groups that I'm involved with. It's something really special, and I've put it to work so many times, when I receive so many phone calls.
I'm really glad you mentioned that specifically because there's so many organizations that you could have gotten involved with to give back. Then and today, what makes Cancer and Careers so special for you?
I think, number one, there's nothing like it. And I think that, the first question that an individual asks after a cancer diagnosis is, will I die? And the second question is, can I work? Because most people in this world, like all of us, have to work to support ourselves. So, that's a really integral part of everyone's life, to be able to pay for treatment, to what is required of me. What do I say to work? What can they say back to me? Will I be fired? What are my legal rights in this position? And, Cancer and Careers really went after there were so many questions, but no answers.
And you guys provide a vast, vast amount of resources to reach people wherever they are. Online, you do many conferences. You have print resources. What's the feedback that you're always receiving from people?
Oh, it's extraordinary, of like just changing people's lives, of just feeling that, I think with anything in our lives, like, you need a place to go. You need to have a sense of comfort of where do I turn? Where do I go? And, my first thing to those that are calling me is always, cancerandcareers.org. You'll be overwhelmed with so much information, and hopefully all of that will really give you you feel better, you feel more in control, you feel like you're driving the bus and that you're getting answers to all of these questions that, it's so overwhelming, and there's literally just so much information from, lawyers, doctors, healthcare providers, different companies that are involved. It's just, I personally have lived it. I had a very good friend, a young girl who worked at one of my manufacturers, and she, at the time, I remember her calling me, and she was 32 years old, I believe, and received a stage 4 colon cancer diagnosis. And she was completely lost. And, she said, Sonia, what do I do? I don't, I have to support myself. I don't know what to do. And, I got Heather to the team at Cancer and Careers, and it really helped her immensely. Like, she really had at one point she was going to change jobs, and did she have to tell the new people what, she was just completely lost, but yet, and oftentimes could not show up for work because she was going through very intense treatment. And, she was such an incredible role model to me of watching her navigate this horrific illness. Unfortunately, Heather lost her fight, but it really made such a difference in her life. And I could see that it gave her a sense of calm. And, she's just one of the millions of stories that we hear of young girls. We have another girl, Ashley, who I met through QVC last year, and, going through treatment. And it's just one after another that it totally changes their lives, and that they have this community, they have this information, they're armed with the right material, they're armed of knowing how to speak about something. It's just, it's mind blowing. It's there's so much heart and soul that goes into Cancer and Careers, and the team. I just try to do my job to help get it out there more, because I think it's such an extraordinary organization, and watching the growth that has occurred over the last, number of years has just been amazing. And, what QVC did by forming this evening of Beauty with Benefits really, changed the game for Cancer and Careers. And, seeing these big organizations step up to the plate and saying, I want to be a part of this. And, for QVC, giving back to those individuals and women that, that Cancer and Careers is really for women and men. But even for QVC, giving back to those women that shop at QVC and saying, this is what we're doing. And they're so philanthropic. And, these large companies that are so philanthropic are just, should be rewarded with the kudos that goes out to their whole team. And they've just been a joy for me to work with. And, again, the money raised is just extraordinary.
And 80% of the purchase price goes directly to Cancer and Careers, yep. Right?
So when, I said, this is retail therapy at its best. I mean, truly, this is feel good after you purchase, because, as you're saying, 80% of the purchase price goes to Cancer and Careers.
Tell us about this year's event coming up on the 28th. Your good friend Cindy Crawford is going to be with you. Your daughter Sadie's going to be with you. What makes this year different?
I think it is bringing Sadie into it, and having Sadie there with me, and having Sadie have been, when we were filming some of the things before, and Sadie even getting that to be able to feel that energy and see what goes on and see the excitement and the passion. That's, beyond the excitement, it's the passion. Like, to feel passion is to feel something so, so special. And, Cindy has been so extraordinary in, getting on board with me and, doing what she can do. And I think for Cindy, it was important for her to get involved with the beauty industry, being that she, has meaningful beauty. And so it felt meaningful to her because of her brand and, being a part of the beauty industry. I think, she hadn't really, she's had her extraordinary brand. And so I think it was important for her, kind of in the solidarity of all of these people and women in the beauty industry. So, she's been just so great and such a great name to have attached to Cancer and Careers.
As you talk about everyone coming together, it really brings me back to the way you were describing Heather as a role model for you, for a lot of other women and men in the community. If someone's in a situation right now, they've just received a terrible diagnosis, where do they start with Cancer and Careers? And also on the other end, for employers who have yet to face a conversation like this, what can they do to prepare? Because I imagine it comes equally as a shock to them.
Yeah, it's interesting. Number one is cancerandcareers.org. Write it down. You need that in the Rolodex or in your, I've looked at Rolodex. You can tell how old I am. In your phone. And, I was sitting with, executives from Disney and I was telling them about what I was doing with Cancer and Careers. They were asking me about it. And, it's funny because it was a gentleman, he looked at me and he said, "It's so interesting that you're telling me about this, which is such an incredible organization, because I just had one of my staff come to me who was just recently diagnosed and in her 30s. And, it's like, I'm not sure how to navigate this either. So I think that, this is an organization that is helping everybody, not just those, like you were saying, that are receiving the diagnosis, but their, co-workers at work or their management or whoever it may be, senior management at work of understanding this. Because I think it's just, all of us are touched by cancer. I think nobody has not been touched by it. And so it's something that it's one of those information cards that all of us need. And it's, I was sitting in one of the seminars in the yearly conference that Cancer and Careers has here in New York. And I will never forget, and I spoke about this when I was honored in December, about how when I was sitting in the audience and somebody stood up and they said, I have stage 4 cancer and I have no guarantees how long I will live or how long I will be able to work. And one of the team members, Rebecca Nellis, who is just this brilliant young woman, responded to her and said, number one, none of us in this room, whether a cancer diagnosis or not, have a guarantee in life. So don't think you're put in this hole of, not knowing. And just that response of like making this woman feel whole and not, pigeonholed into cancer person. And it was one of those moments I will never, ever forget. But then going through, and, there's a lawyer on the panel and healthcare providers, and just hearing their feedback with her was just, mind-blowing. Like, I was like, this is what it's all about. This individual, you could see her whole energy change and just this like relaxed state taken over, that she just could take a deep breath of air and relax. And it's those moments that give me the energy and the push and the drive to do as much as I can possibly do with this organization.
And the motto that you guys are always sharing, and I love it, is be the boss over cancer. Having gone through this, do you have any advice for someone listening in, as we were saying, on both sides of the equation, someone who has been diagnosed or someone, family, friend, colleague of an individual who's been diagnosed, help them navigate those challenges?
It's hard and it's scary because you don't get, from a doctor, they don't say do this or do that. And especially dealing with cancer in the workplace, a doctor, that's not their area of expertise. So again, I drive it back to, and the first thing I really do is send everybody to cancerandcareers.org and get on the site because depending upon what you're looking for, there are all of those different areas and different focuses that you can go to. So to me, that's my initial go-to for everybody.
And how about the power of storytelling and connection and community that, whether it's on the site or at the conference, it's very clear that that's thriving all the time.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think, what, in life, everybody's story is again, that word passion comes up. And you can't help be affected by a story. That is what gets into the core of our being, of our heart. That's what's touching us all. And you hear story after story after story. And, some are more difficult to listen to than others because it's just so devastating. And, there are people of all ages. They're men, they're women, they're, younger women. It affects everybody. It touches everyone. And I think that's what's one of the more special things is that human touch, that human story that is something we can all, because I think, when it comes down to the science and all of that stuff, it's a little overwhelming, it's daunting, but human stories are something that you just, we all kind of come to the human story and the drive, the fight, the battle, the passion, the love, the want, the desire to live, the desire to do what's best, the desire to, help, and give whatever we can all give. And, I don't know, it's just been, something so special for me to be a part. And to watch, even the girls that are on this day-to-day working in the Cancer and Careers office, they're my heroes. They're those girls that are just out there spreading the word and working diligently to get the information out there. And, they're real heroes. And if I can do anything to help them, they all know I'm there. Tell me what you need me to do, and I will do whatever I can to help you. But and they're doing it. They're 100%, making a difference.
For other individuals and companies who want to support them, what's the best way for them to get involved?
It really is to get involved through cancerandcareers.org. Mm-hmm. I think it's the easiest way because, you can pick up the phone, you can get in touch with Cancer and Careers, but I think it's really going through the website. That's really, I think, the forefront vehicle of where you can go to get more involved, to get whatever it may be. And I think getting involved in helping is, tuning in on Thursday night and buying something and knowing that's what again, it's really good retail therapy. While you're shopping, you are helping the life of somebody else, and what better way to shop? So I think that's a huge opportunity right there is, go shopping. Whoever tells you, okay, shop, get your wallet out and shop. It's that's what you can do to help.
And before we go, Sonia, so the event is April 28th, 7 to 9 Eastern. Mm-hmm. Everyone can also purchase online, right?
Yes, absolutely. So, and, if Sometimes things will sell out quickly. There's numerous brands, all like prestige luxury brands. And sometimes it'll continue online if there's product still available. So it doesn't just, it is that 7 to 9. And as I said, be quick because a lot of do sell out. But you can always check QVC online to see what is still available as well.
Perfect. And last question for you before we close here. As you reflect on everything that's happened so far and everything that's to come, what are you most excited about for Cancer and Careers? What are your goals?
To me, watching the reach and the information getting out there. Like at first it was, of course, people through Cosmetic Executive Women were really behind it. And when you hear about these, large national scale or other companies getting involved and supporting Cancer and Careers, and just the team at Cancer and Careers of where they're asked to present at these different conferences with like the major players in cancer, at these different conferences that Cancer and Careers is invited and asked to present. And that they're really the uniqueness of them being very focused. And I think in life, when we do things and really stay the course, like, Cancer and Careers has defined what they were and has really stayed the course of they are who they are and do what they do. And I think the more you always drill down that this is who we are, it keeps you really focused. And focus, I think, brings success because the two kind of work hand in hand. So it's like focus equals success. And I think, with these really smart individuals at Cancer and Careers, it's and then you throw passion in there, and it's just a win-win all the way around. And it's just it just continues to thrive. It continues to grow. It continues to gain notoriety. It continues to be showing up, as I'm saying, at big conferences. It continues to gain recognition for being that go-to information spot of cancerandcareers.org for that information that you don't know where else to go get it.
Perfect. Well, I can't thank you enough for coming on the show, sharing this with us, giving us a glimpse into beauty with benefits. I'm so appreciative, and it's so important for everyone just to take 5 minutes after watching this, go on to cancerandcareers.org and just get familiar so they can either use it themselves or share with friends.
Absolutely. And I can't thank you enough for, I always say we all get by with help from our friends, hence why we all are better together. So really tune in. It's really a fun show. 2 hours of beauty. There's lots of great brands that are participating. And it's just a really fun, heartfelt, inspiring, you'll hear great stories. You'll see great people. It's just an incredible energy. And it's, being down at QVC headquarters and, being there and watching it all happen. It's just, it's a really special evening, and it's coming quick. So tune in and we'll talk after for sure.